Today on Grace Uncensored, are you sure you understand grace? Get ready to question everything you thought you knew.
Christianity was never meant to be about striving, guilt, or religious pressure. It's about grace, real, unfiltered, life-changing grace. Welcome to Grace Uncensored, the podcast where we clear away the noise, break free from legalism, and rediscover the freedom, joy, and rest found in Jesus Christ. If you're ready to stop chasing approval and start living in the truth of the gospel, you're in the right place. Now here's Billy McDonald with Grace Uncensored.
Hey friends, welcome back to Grace Uncensored, the place where we're done with religious striving and guilt-driven Christianity, and we're rediscovering the gospel the way Jesus actually intended it, full of freedom, overflowing with joy, and absolutely anchored in grace. Hi, I'm Billy McDonald. Today we're diving into a word that gets tossed around all the time in church circles, but it's often misunderstood, and even more often underestimated. Grace. We sing about it in hymns, we slap it on bumper stickers, we hashtag it on Instagram, but if grace really is the heartbeat of the gospel, then we've got to ask, what is it really? Let's uncensor this word together. Let's go beyond the cliches and into the truth that makes grace so radical and so life-changing. First of all, grace is a gift. It's not a deal. Let's start with something foundational. Paul writes in Ephesians 2, 8, and 9, a verse we're familiar with, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not of yourselves, it's the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast." Just think about that. Grace isn't a deal made with you. It's not a reward for good behavior or a spiritual paycheck for trying hard. It's a gift. There's no strings attached. You didn't earn it by praying more, repenting harder, or finally cleaning up your act. And here's the best part. If you didn't earn it, you can't lose it by failing. Grace is God's kindness that comes with no conditions. His favor even when you haven't measured up. His love when you feel least lovable. Secondly, grace doesn't make you lazy. It trains you. Now, this is where grace gets really misunderstood. Some people hear grace and think, oh, so you're saying sin doesn't matter. But Titus clears that up fast in chapter 2, verses 11 and 12. Listen to this. "For the grace of God appeared, bringing salvation to all people, instructing us to deny ungodliness and worldly desires, and to live sensibly, righteously, and in a godly manner in the present age." Did you catch that? Grace instructs, it teaches, it trains. Grace doesn't let you off the hook, it lifts you out of the pit. Legalism uses fear to motivate change. Grace uses love and a brand new identity. You don't obey God to earn His approval. You obey because you already have His approval. And then third, grace and works, they just don't mix. Paul couldn't be more clear than here in Romans 11:6. He says, "And if by grace, then it cannot be based on works. If it were, grace would no longer be grace." In other words, it's got to be one or the other. You can't blend grace with effort. You can't say, well, God did most of it, but I chipped in my part. The moment you try to add your performance to grace, you cancel out grace altogether. It's not God does 90% and I'll pitch in my 10. No, it's all Jesus plus absolutely nothing else at all. Trying to earn what's already free is like trying to help the sun shine with a flashlight. It doesn't work. Finally, grace is your resting place. In Hebrews 4, 9 and 10, it says, grace isn't just your starting point, it's your home base. It says, there remains then a Sabbath rest for the people of God. For anyone who enters God's rest also rests from their works, just as God did from His. And then in verse 16, he adds this, let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. You weren't saved to spend your life trying to earn what you already have. You weren't made to live exhausted, burned out, or burdened. Grace is your rest. It's the reason you can stop striving and start living. It's why you can come boldly, not sheepishly. It's why you can actually breathe. Picture this. Poor guy's out in the middle of the river and he's drowning. He's thrashing, panicking, sinking. And then someone on the bank throws him a life ring. Well, that guy doesn't pause and say, well, wait just a minute. Let me try to swim a little bit more. Give me a chance. He doesn't ask, have I earned this? Do I deserve this? No, he just grabs it. Well, friends, that's grace. It doesn't ask how well you're doing. It just says, take hold. I've got you. Hey, just before we finish up, we're just getting started here with the podcast. So if Grace Uncensored is helping you rethink religion and rediscover Jesus, leave a comment and share this episode with a friend. We're building a no-fluff community that really loves the gospel. Join us by subscribing, and thanks for this time with us here today. So what is grace? It's God's love that makes absolutely no sense at all. It's His strength when you have none. It's His rescue when you can't save yourself. It's not about trying harder. It's about trusting more deeply. And here's the wild part. When you really get that, you don't want to sin more. You want to rest more, love more, live more, because now you know who you are in Him. Well, next time on Grace Uncensored, we're going to see something even more shocking. Why God isn't mad at you even when you really mess it up. It's going to be powerful, so don't miss it. See you then.
You've been listening to Grace Uncensored, where it's not about religion, it's all about real, uncensored grace. If this episode hit home, share it with a friend and make sure to subscribe so you never miss what's next. Do you have questions or feedback? Drop us a note at billymcdonald@graceuncensored.org. That's Billy McDonald at graceuncensored.org. We'd love to hear from you. This is Grace Uncensored, where grace isn't earned. It's already yours. We'll see you next time.